How long did you work in the Surrey docks?
Well, I worked in the Surrey docks about 8 years, and then when the Surrey docks shut, much to my disappointment with the Labour government, went to the West India dock for 7 years. I had accident on my back, and subsequently took me redundancy from the West India dock.
What was your job?
I was went in the Surrey. We was ship side to tea, to the tea jobs, jello boats, Indian boats, tea, rubber, skins, cattle dung, things like that. But also, where I was ship side, in the warehouse where it was all put, when the ship finished, we went in the warehouse and we delivered it all to barges. And we used to do 6,500 tea chests a day. And that was 4 men in the barge, so you were handling 1,000 chests on your own.
Was that hard work?
Very hard work. It was very heavy tea chests.
Was you happy working in the docks?
Loved it.
Why do you think that was?
Camaraderie. My family. My dad was in the same gang with me. My uncle was a ganger. Our progress from starting there as a barge hand, which was the hardest thing to put you in the barge with the tea. They put me straight in at the deep end when I was 21. And I wound up the ganger when my uncle retired. I also wound up the forklift driver once we started, when they united stevedores and dockers, and we both done the ship work. We always done the ship work in wharfs, but we didn't do it in the docks. Once I'd done that, I wound up the forklift driver down the hull, and I was also a forklift driver on a quay. But I just loved basically the laughs we had and everything.
Was you very close to the men you worked with?
Yes.
How close?
I had a great deal of respect for them. If you needed help, they'd help you. I mean, I had a bad injury through football when I was young, about 23, and I was out of work a year. And they used to have collections for me, give me money, because you never got what you got now. You didn't get the benefits you get now. I had a young family. And I've got a great deal of respect for them. Never meet better people.
Did you socialise with those?
Yeah, some of them. Played football with some, and I socialised with some that was quite a good deal older than me. I was still wanting to have a drink with them, yeah.
What was most of those? How did you socialise? Was it mainly drinking?
Yeah, drinking. You socialised if it rained, and you got to remember we worked very, very hard. So if you had a chance to enjoy yourself, you did. If it rained, you went straight to the pub, or a certain amount of you did, not everyone. But probably in our gang, about 8 of us was drinkers. You go to a pub. Another gang that worked in the same area as us, the Ball family, funny enough, Ball family, they had a piano player and he used to play the piano. And the gangers then used to have to drag us out once it stopped raining.
So this could be like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning as well, couldn't it?
Yes, we drank in the morning, yeah. If we never had no work to do, we would have a drink in the morning, yeah. And
what was the pubs that
the Warrior, the Caucus, and the Farriers. They was the 3 early morning pubs. We mainly used the Warrior, because my mum and dad lived right by the Warrior, and that was where I was brought up then.
About those ones downtown? Fidgets?
Yeah, we used to drink Fidgets, the Ship and Well, which is now a gay pub. It never used to be. It's drinking now. the pub next door to the Fidgets, I can't think of the name of it offhand now. The Ship of York. We basically would have a little, if we wasn't working, we'd have a little tour around.
How did you feel when you knew the docks was closing?
Gutted, but we had shortly before they shut, we had an 8-week strike, and although I had a bad back, I felt so strongly about it, I come back to work. And we was outvoted by people that you never even see on the picket line, and after that I lost me, what's the word? Me sort of respect for a lot of people. So I had a chance to take my money because of my back, and that's what I done.
Why do you think the docks closed?
Personally, me, down to a lot of people blame dockers, but I'll put it down to the employers that we had not reinvesting in container things and the forklifts, the lifting gear. When we took containers up, we used to have to wrap a wire in them and take them off, 4 wires, and take them off like that. We never had the proper gear to take off containers or handle palletisation, really.
Who do you blame?
I blame the employers totally, and I blame the government for allowing it to happen, because it didn't just destroy the docks, it destroyed the area around the docks.
Do you think the closure of the Surrey docks was bound to happen? Or could it have been avoided?
I think it could have been avoided if you're the top timber dock in the world, and the Jella boats never made a profit, as far as my knowledge, once they left Surrey docks. They was never ever done. We turned them down in X amount of weeks, say 2 weeks roughly. They went to Tilbury, I was taking 4 to 6 weeks.
What changes did you have to make once you was no longer a docker?
Well, I had a bad back at the time, so I had a few hospital treatments and that on my back. Getting used to not having that closeness. If you was in trouble, you had your gang, you would battle as a gang. If you wanted more money for a job, you as a gang, you stood by one another until you got that money. Things like that. You went somewhere and they didn't expect you to be a rebel. They expected you to just do what they told you. That's the hardest thing.
Was you able to find work easily after leaving the docks?
It took me a little while, because I was having this treatment with my back over about 2 or 3 years. And then I went to work with my brother in the heating and ventilation game, which was very hard on me because of the bad back, but eventually I didn't get over it, but I learned to live with it.
Was you ever as happy in any of your new jobs as with the docks?
No, the last job I had is the happiest I've been since the dock. And that was working for Courageous, delivering beer. I went on to become the shop steward. From a shop steward I become a convener. I got great satisfaction out of helping people, and it's the happiest I've been since the dock.
Did you do any union work when you was in the dock?
No, apart from going on picket lines and things like that, no. But I was always a Staunch Union Man.
So that background sort of helped you to be a shop steward, I suppose?
Yeah, but I was always called, when I went to meetings, the old-fashioned shop steward, because I wouldn't comply. They wanted me to go to college and learn things and this, that and the other, and I wouldn't do that. I said, no, they've lectured me on what I am, and that's what I am, and I wouldn't do it.
In all the other jobs, were there the same bonds or comradeship between the men that you worked with?
Yeah, probably when I went out on the road in the brewery game. When I went out on the road to deliver, you get a regular driver and you make a bit of a bond. Probably the nearest to the dog, physically and that way.
Do you ever miss working in the docks?
Forever. I mean, it's the best 15 years of my life. It's when I had my children, everything was good then. Let's put it that way.
Do you still socialise with other ex-dockers?
Yeah. Yeah, all the time.
And what do you talk about?
Docks. When I see my uncle, who's now 78, who's my ganger, he likes me to reminisce and tell him stories. Wow. And it was a funny thing with him because he was a Japanese prison war camp for 4.5 years, so we couldn't go on Japanese ships because he would have physically attacked the Japanese, so we couldn't go on them because he'd come out still a strong man. He was still a strong man after that 4.5 years, so we was excused going on Japanese boats. That's true.
Do you still live in the area?
Yep.
What changes do you think that the closure of the Surrey docks made to Birmingham or?
It become very, very hard to get employment, and I mean we've gone from being the richest borough in London to and we've gradually gone down. That's my opinion.
What do you mean richest financially? Or?
Well, we was, wasn't we? Because you had Cross and Blackwells, you had Peak Freens, you had Shuttleworths, you had the jam factory, you had the glue factory. There was miles and miles of work. Now, you might have been out of work here for a little while, but you could always get a job. And also the print was going in. I mean, that was my first job in the print. That's the first job I ever had.
And so when the docks closed, that was one of the main employers?
Oh, yes. Well, you had all your shops, didn't you? You had baker shops that shut down, that was here. You had cafes that all shut down because they relied totally on the dock.
Butchers the butchers?
All of them, yeah.
Instead of
Even that went, peace puddings, saps. And you went in a pub, the Prince of Wales Plough Way, and he'd give you, all you bought was 2 slices of bread, and he'd give you a plate and knives and forks to put the sabs of that on. I mean, where would you get that today? That's what I'm saying. And on the Fridays, fish and chips, they give you the same thing.
Did you get a lot of help from other ex-dockers in finding work?
No.
Because I know if someone gets into BT
No.
and then there's a vacancy and they get all the others.
No, I got mine from my brother. My brother got me work, and then my brother-in-law helped me to get the carriages. So it's family, basically. If I didn't have family, I wouldn't have been at work.
So, you know, where my old man was working, there was 6 of them, 4 of them was ex-dockers.
Yeah.
It was a BT, it was like...
Well, a lot of them went messengers, things like that. A lot of them went over there and went messengers in the bank. And yeah, that was all helping one another. But it didn't, in my particular circumstances, I've always been a manual worker, it didn't help me.
There's been instances where men have not been able to adjust to life after the docks and have committed suicide.
Yes, one of my gang did. Terry O'Brien. He was always a very irate, nervous person. I played football with him and all. And he threw himself under a train. Threw himself under the tube train. He just could not. I used to see him as I walked through the blue, and he used to more or less cry to me about how much he miss it, which I did. But I was stronger, I suppose, than him, or whatever. I had other things. I was into running youth teams and things like that. So I had other, even though I wasn't probably employed at the time, I had other things to do. Yeah, 2 of them killed themselves, to my knowledge. Arthur Lowry was another one. He threw himself under a tube, funny enough. 2 of them. And that was purely down to the same thing. They couldn't cope once they left the dock. Young man and all, Terry Brown.
What was it they called?
I think it was when you went to a job and you didn't have the freedom you had. I mean, once you started a job, and once it was negotiated what you was going to get when you was piecework, then that job was yours, and you didn't have none of this things you got now, you know. When they want to know the ins and outs of you and all that, you either could do your job or you couldn't. Simple as that. That was as simple as that.
With what's happened with the Liverpool dockers,
Yeah.
do you think they're the last of a dying breed?
Yeah. But you got to remember, Liverpool dock was never a piecework dock. They never worked like we work. You got Tilbury. Those Blacklegs, they went to work when we was on strike. And now they've got people going around their houses and if they're out with the flu, checking they've got it. If they ain't got it, they're grassing them up. And that's a thing that would never have happened, you know. And I know this for a fact through my union work. That would never have happened. If someone was sick, he was sick, they send up.
Was there always this thing between Tilbury and the London-based stocks?
Well, they wasn't piecework. I mean, Liverpool got their £20 a week. When we got the £20 a week, we'd had it for ages. And we went on strike for Liverpool for 6 weeks. But how many people would have done that for us? We was already getting that money. But we still went on strike.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, just like I had, where I was lucky, I had a wife that supported me 100%. And I think it helped me in life, and that's the thing I appreciate more than anything. She never ever went against anything that I'd done. Even when they give me 1 shilling, and this is true, and I'd like you to keep this on your film, with 2 children, me and her, nothing coming in, they give me 1 shilling and 10 pence cheque. And I sat down for 4 hours for that. And she went back and put the 2 kids on their laps and said, "Oh, well, you look like the kids." We wound up getting £7. That was I think we'd been out on strike 4 weeks then. The best result I ever had was the long strike. I believe it was 7 weeks, 8 weeks, I can't remember. And it was just before Christmas, and we was breaking our hearts because we ain't got no presents, ain't got nothing. And then we got a telegram, because you used to have telegrams then delivered to your house, and they settled and we got back pay. And that was the best result. It's probably the best Christmas I've ever had. You can imagine, from having nothing to having all your back pay. I can't say no more. Best 15 years of my life. I'm still friends with your dad. I'm still friends with all the people that I work with. The old people helped. The best thing was in the dock, the old people helped you. And I think that's what's gone today, where they try to get rid of old people too soon. They learn you how to work easy. They might not work as fast as you, but they learn you how to work easy and safely. And that applies to my last job, the brewery, and all. They're getting rid of all the old people there, and it's the same thing.
Yes.
Thanks very
We'll
much.
take some details down.
Yes.
How long do you work in the Surrey dock? What's your full name?
Terry Webb. Terry Webb.
From when?
I went in 64. I was there for 8 years.
72.
Yeah, and then I moved over to the...
That's it,
That's it. Yeah.
You want to deal with the Surrey. Who else you ran the talks? Was there any of them old boys down there?
Not probably to come up here. I don't know who to suggest to you. Yeah, I know. See, old Ned would be a right character to talk to.
Yeah.
But his legs are gone. I think you're better off.
Because they're going to be singing and everything for the next all
If you
afternoon, isn't he?
If you come here Saturday, about say half 12, something like that, you'll have them down there. There'll be no music, and you could talk to them. I think you'll be very hard to get anyone up here at the moment.
Yeah.
And I've got to go out and look at a funeral in a minute as he goes by. Another old docker.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's going past here.
Well, they can't come by. They're going to go that way.
No, he's coming every Wednesday.
You know Harry Hewitt, don't you? He's dead. He's dead.
Yeah. Paddy Buckingham.
Yeah.
He's my father.
Oh, I know.
So we come past here in the car.
That's right. Yeah.
He was here every Wednesday, and it was the only times he used to go out, Wednesday and Saturday. Yeah. Did you do Saturday?
Saturday, yeah.